I said Glock's the answer so many times I started believing my own bullshit. So I ran a side-by-side. Same drill, same distance, same rules. And I set one rule for beat Glock. If it doesn't make me faster, easier, or more confident under pressure, then a plain Glock. It doesn't belong here. And I didn't want to admit what happened next, because the first run went the way I expected. The Glock looked fine. So I tried to lock it in. I ran it again, then again, like I could muscle the truth back into place. And then I shot the other pistol. That ugly little pause hit. Oh shit, that was easier. Not on paper. In my hands, on the timer, on the target. I almost ignored it. I almost talked my way around it. That's when I knew this list was going to start fights. This was late winter, small shop, weekday afternoon. 2 different people walked in and asked for a Glock 19 like it was already decided. Counter guy didn't do the salesman thing. He shrugged and said, most people still default to Glock, and slid the 19 across. And both of them kept drifting back to the Hellcat Pro. Not because of a speech, because their hands kept doing it. Grip the Glock, dry press, stare. Pick up the Hellcat again. Grip settled faster. Sight picture snapped in. The press looked cleaner without them fighting it. One of them said it real quiet. I came for a Glock, but this feels like what Glock should have updated by now. That line stuck, and I got defensive. I went looking for the catch. So I took both guns out and ran the same pressure string. Same distance, same pace, timer on, target up. My first Glock run looked fine, so I tried to save it. I ran it again, harder. More sight babysitting, more effort, more forcing it. Then I ran the Hellcat Pro. Hit stayed cleaner, and I didn't hesitate. The gun came back flatter, and I stopped over-confirming like I was negotiating with the sights. So I kept it blunt. If it didn't make me faster, easier, or more confident than a plain G19, it didn't belong here. The Hellcat won, and I didn't like how little it asked from me. After that New Year party, I met an old buddy who'd been with Houston PD forever. We were just catching up, nothing formal, and then his tone dropped, real quiet. That careful cop voice where every word costs something. He said they'd been looking harder at the FN 509 tactical. Not a side conversation, real attention. And the part that mattered, they already had Glocks in the picture. I did what I always do. I tried to shrug it off as department gossip because I didn't want another Glock debate built on vibes. So I took a plain Glock and the 509 tactical out for a quick low-light check. Handheld light, awkward stance, one-hand strings. Same distance, same pace, timer running. The kind of shooting that makes you clamp up and get stupid. On the Glock, I started babysitting the sights. Tiny hesitations, extra confirmation. Hits showed up, but time bled out. On the FN, the gun tracked cleaner, and I stopped negotiating with the front sight. The group stayed tight, and the run stayed faster without me muscling it. That's when his line clicked. When a department opens the door after buying into Glock, confidence shifted first. Paperwork came later, and what came after that wasn't even a duty conversation. It was a cheaper, regular person gun that embarrassed Glock. I didn't want the Ruger RXM on this list. I hate cheap surprise guns because they usually win one cute moment and then fold. This one didn't. It showed up on a long-range day, hands smoked, forearms tight, and my grip started doing that thing where it lies to you. You think you're crushing the gun, but you're not. That's when my Glock started nickel and diming me. Nothing broke. Nothing jammed. It just turned into work. Every string I had to rebuild the grip, refine the wall, reconfirm like I forgot how to shoot. My hits didn't just open up. They walked. Left, then low, then wide. I caught myself slowing down, and it still looked sloppy. Then I picked up the RXM in the same tired spot, and it did the rude thing. It held together. The gun didn't demand a fresh grip to stay honest. I stopped chasing the sights, and the hits stayed inside the zone without me trying harder. That's a bad loss for Glock. Because if your safe answer only feels safe when you're fresh, It's not the safe answer. And what came after that wasn't forgiving at all. It was a gun that made Glock look outdated on the first squeeze. Then recently I was standing at a counter in Austin, and I hear the same line I used to say. Just buy a Glock and be done. Guy picks up a Glock 19, 17, 43. Then he picks up the Canik TP9 SF right after. And you can see the shopping list form in real time. He dry presses the Glock, and his face tightens. Dry presses again, and he's already talking about maybe a trigger later. Then he hits the Canik, and the noise stops. Same hands, same counter. One gun makes you plan upgrades. The other one just works. But feels good, doesn't beat Glock. So I did the rude check. I took both out and ran a quick stress string, where I always screw up. Start cold, go a little too fast, and try to keep the hits clean anyway. With the Glock, I got that mushy press, and I started yanking shots early. Not a malfunction, just that little loss of control that turns into makeup shots. With the TP9 SF, I stayed honest. The break was cleaner, so my first shots landed where they were supposed to, without me slowing down and babysitting it. That's how it beats Glock. Not better vibes, less Glock tax, and less effort under pressure. Yeah, Glock still wins the ecosystem war. But if a cheaper gun gives you cleaner work when you're rushing, that's not a preference. That's a loss. A while back, my buddy brought a SAR-9 out, almost like a joke. Tossed it on the bench and waited for me to smirk. And I did. We had a couple pistols laid out, and the whole mood said the same thing. Glock stayed the one nobody questioned by the end of the day. My friend kept glancing over like I was about to find the obvious flaw and call it out. So I loaded the SAR-9 first. Cold. No warm-up. He stood right there, close enough to see the target in my face. I started shooting. First string went clean. No drama, so I did it again. Same pace, same target, same hands. Both runs with the SAR-9 stayed stacked. Tight work. No flyers, no save-it shots. Then I picked up the Glock, expecting it to slam the door. Instead, I sent one ugly shot wide, and the next one was a makeup shot, just to clean up the embarrassment. My buddy didn't say a word. He just stared at the target like he already knew. The SAR-9 didn't hang in there. It outshot the Glock twice, cold, while I was trying to make it fail. And what came after that got even worse, because the next one beat Glock in a way people hate admitting. I'm going to say it plain. The Taurus G3C started feeling better in my hands than any Glock I owned. And I hated hearing myself say it, because the same gun jammed on me before. Not once, enough that I stopped trusting it and felt dumb for ever carrying it. So I fixed it, kept it simple, and then I tried to make it choke again. That's the only way it belonged this high. I put it next to a plain Glock and ran the same ugly pressure string I use when I'm not trying to look cool. Cold start, push pace until something breaks. Me with a gun. On the Glock, the run wasn't bad, but it charged me. I clipped one low and I sped up, and that forced a quick makeup shot. That's time. That's effort. That's the little tax that shows up when you rush. Then the G3C did the disrespectful thing. My first shots landed faster, my follow-ups stayed tighter, and I didn't have to drag it back into the work to keep it inside the zone. A budget pistol shouldn't do that to a Glock, but it did, and I still didn't trust it. The old jam lived in my head like a debt. Every mag I waited for the hiccup. So yeah, best budget Glock killer I've touched. And I still don't hand it my full faith. The next one made Glock guys shut up. If you know Texas, you know March started lying. It looked fine. Then the heat got ugly fast. So I got out in the yard early, trying to steal some reps before the day turned miserable. I wasn't out there to prove anything. No big test, no audience, just me. A plain Glock and the Walther PDP full size. Because I kept hearing people talk and I wanted to shut it up in my own hands. That didn't happen. The PDP kept forcing the comparison. Not in a feels nice way, in a why is this easier way. Glock stayed in the picture mostly because it always does. Habit, muscle memory, comfort. Then I ran a cold string the way I actually shoot when I'm not performing. Start clean, push pace, keep the work inside the zone. On the Glock, I paid for speed. One shot drifted, and I had to patch it with a quick makeup shot. That's time. That's extra work. I grabbed the PDP and ran the same thing. The first shots landed where they were supposed to, And the follow-ups stayed tight without me forcing it. No patch job, no debt. If you're mad right now, good. That means you actually heard the point. Glock still does Glock stuff. It stays simple. It stays consistent. It keeps running. That's why it's the benchmark. And why half the industry still copies it. Like it's a religion. But these pistols stole something Glock used to own without me having to fix the gun first. Better trigger behavior, better grip geometry, flatter recoil, easier hits at speed, or value that made the Glock look overpriced for what you got. And here's what still bothered me when I finished. Even after number 1, Glock kept one advantage that mattered when I rushed. I didn't like that. I'm Steve. Tell me what Glock you run and what it still does better. Because if you can't answer that, you're not loyal, you're just stuck.